Hey, how you guys doing? It's your boy Beasley back at it again with another video. Today's video is going to be a follow-up slash continuation of yesterday's video. I've been reading the comments of that video. If you have not watched that video, I will have it linked in the description. But there was a bunch of people who was confused about the things I was saying in the video, whether I didn't articulate my thoughts or my points properly, or just a bunch of people who don't understand how things work. I figured rather than replying to each individual comment and say the same thing over and over and over and over again, I could just make a follow-up video. That way it would be much simpler for you and I. So if you guys enjoy these follow-ups, be sure to smash like on the video. And if I answer any of your questions personally, again, be sure to smash like. So for starters, if you did not watch my previous video, I will quickly recap. Essentially, I showed you a glitch that has been in the game since honestly, I think the beta, since back in August/January of this year, where if you have the pre-order bonus, you can infinitely loop your pre-order bonus over and over again to give yourself basically a God Coach build with every perk in the game. A ton, and I mean a ton of people didn't understand the point of what I was saying or what I did do, and they misconstrued the idea that you have to have the pre-order bonus to do the thing. No, as I mentioned in that video, and I will repeat myself in this video, the pre-order bonus was strictly there just to save you a bunch of time and headache. You can still do this organically, as I'm going to show you in today's video, but it is going to take a significant amount of time, energy, and resources, whereas if you just had the pre-order bonus, it would take a fraction of all of that. So the outcomes can still both be reached. However, the time to achieve the outcome will be vastly different because with the pre-order bonus glitch, again, you can give your head coach every perk in the game and your DC every perk in the game /OC, depending on how you want to go about it. And as a result, you would make a custom coach as an OC or DC, basically whatever coach you didn't give every perk in the game, and just marinate with that staff, get a bunch of natties, get a bunch of rings, do a bunch of stuff, yada, 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 and then just basically buy everything in the game at half price or like 30 or 40% off. It was basically a fire sale. For some reason, the moment that people didn't have the pre-order bonus and they said to themselves, well, I don't have the pre-order bonus, therefore I can't do this, and their brains just turned off. The point of yesterday's video was not to show you the pre-order glitch that has been in the game again since July of this year, and that probably 500 other people have made YouTubes and TikTok shorts and whole videos on how to do it. Again, I am not new here. But the point of yesterday's video was to show you how powerful Inside Track is and how powerful Bundle Discount was. It was not to show you the glitch. This strat works regardless if you have the pre-order bonus or not. You can still achieve it because you're basically abusing perks in the game that are designed this way. And don't worry, I got some special comments that I'm going to put on blast towards the end of this video. So for starters, how do you do this organically if you don't have the pre-order bonus? Well, this is what you're going to do. As you can see, I have a coach, Always Be Crutin, brand new coach. You can tell it's a brand new coach without the pre-order bonus because he's level 45 and you get 10 points per level up, which means I would have 450 coach tokens as I do, which, as you can see, I do. But just in case, there's that guy in the comments who's like, well, actually, as you can see, I have the setting turned off here. And just to further prove my point, I don't have the pre-order bonus. I can go to my coaching abilities. And as you can see, I have nothing purchased in any other tree. And when I go to my recruiter tree, I have nothing purchased. So this is a brand new, fresh custom coach. This is also explicitly for offline. However, like I'm going to repeat myself in yesterday's video, I do apologize if it gets a little annoying, but I have to repeat myself because some people just don't understand. You can do this in an online or offline dynasty. Now, do I recommend doing this in an online dynasty? No, I don't, because that would require you to win 2 natties before you buy most of your build, which I'm not saying you can't do. I just don't advise it, right? You do you, obviously. But this is going to be by myself, as you guys can see. But even for the online dynasty crowd, I could be wrong, but I'm 99% sure that before you invite a user to your online dynasty, even though you do select online, by default, when you're by yourself, it's considered an offline dynasty. So if you do have the pre-order bonus, you still could cheese the game by giving your coach every perk in the game, and then you would invite people. So you can still do it that way, but that's not the point of this video. the point of this video is to show you how to do it both ways. And so yeah, we have plenty of routes. First of all, what did I do? This is not rocket science. I can promise you it is not that complex. So I'm doing for this video, I'm using Clemson, but you can do this with any team because you're going to be force winning all of your games as victories for the first 2 years. I know it's cheesy, yada, yada, yada. But again, you're sacrificing time. If you want to do this organically, you might be here for 5 to 10 years before you get your 2 natties with like a garbage team or even average roster. So just force win your 2 undefeated seasons. Unlock the natty, unlock all that stuff, keep it pushing. Trust me, you'll have time to play with this build later, and you will earn stuff organically just to speed up your time and energy. Just force win all your games. Secondly, because in this video, I'm going to be using Elite Recruiter, I also gave myself 2 top 5 recruiting classes, which actually required me to do a little bit of effort, but given that I'm Clemson, it wasn't that hard to get a top 5 class with really good pipelines. Even though I don't have any perks, it still wasn't that hard. But that you don't have to do that. Obviously, if you don't want Elite Recruiter, then you don't have to worry about getting your 2 top 5 class. Just get yourself to go 16-0 and then you're fine. But once when that gets done, right, your top 5 classes, you get your first round draft picks, right, you do your rivalry games, whatever the things you're going for. Generally speaking, this is how you're going to do things. So you're in year 2. So you're in year 3. Here's how I would advise. So obviously, this is going to go without saying, but because you're not getting everything on discount like you did the glitch method for the pre-order bonus, you will lose some efficiency here. Will you lose a ton of efficiency? No, you won't, but you will lose some. Just to ballpark it, just to give you a mental number, because I know some people are more visual learners. In my other coach build, if I had to guesstimate how many coach tokens it would be if you bought it for full price, I would guesstimate it's about 1,750 tokens. So just a smidge under 2,000 tokens, and a normal coach gets about 1,000, just to give you an idea. This coach build, doing it the organic way without the pre-order glitch to assist you, will get you about 500 or about 1,500 to 1,600 tokens. So again, you are technically losing out on some tokens, but that's assuming you're buying every perk in the game. I don't think you need every perk in the game. So just, again, keep that in mind. There are small differences, but it's not the end of the world. For starters, we need, for this video, we are going to be doing Strategist. So I have to unlock Strategist. Well, how do I do that? Well, I have to spend 50 points in Tactician and 50 points in Recruiter. So we're going to go ahead and buy Tactician. While we're here, I guess I'm also going to go ahead and buy Motivator. Might as well to spend points later on. But we're not done. We got to have 50 points in Recruiter and, again, 50 points in Tactician. So we're going to go in here and buy the first tier for a few of these perks until we hit our 50-point desired goal, which shouldn't be too hard. Thank you, Xbox, for the obligatory you have rewards, which I'm not going to spend because who cares for $2 worth of Microsoft points? Absolute hashtag scam. Anyways, now we're going to go spend 50 points in our Tactician. There we go. Bam. And just like that, we can buy Strategist. But that's for the full price Strategist. We don't want that, obviously, because every token we spend elsewhere that we don't have to is less tokens we can spend where we need to. Well, how do we get this for free? Well, you have to go ahead and buy Inside Track, which, as you can see, we just now unlocked. So now we're going to go and buy Program Builder. Bada bing, bada boom. We are going to go ahead and max Inside Track to get friends and family discount, which, again, why I'm using Clemson as the example. At Clemson, both Garrett Riley and Tom Allen have Strategist. So now when I go hover over Strategist, it's now free. Now I hold A, and just like that, boom, I got Strategist for completely free. But Beastly, as you can see, all your perks are still full price. They are 12 points. Yes, exactly. You know why? I don't have bundle discount. Let's go into CEO and buy CEO really quickly and buy bundle discount. So now you kind of starting to see why you kind of have to force win your 2 undefeated seasons. There you go. Now I have bundle discount. I am going to go back down to Strategist. And as you can see, bam, because my OC has some perks, my DC has some perks, I now can get stuff on reduced. So if I was doing, as an example, a challenge run or what have you, where I want to buy all of these perks for the maximum efficiency, as you can see, I can go ahead and buy several of these perks, whether it's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, what have you. Quite a few perks I have max discounted, some perks not so much. Next, here's the other problem you are going to have with this build. The next problem you're going to have with this build, unfortunately, is when you're doing the pre-order glitch, you can force your coordinators to have certain perks, which is awesome. When you're doing it organically, you can't. So even though this says for Garrett Riley and Tom Allen, they are both strategists, that is their main perk, they still have a small chance to upgrade recruiter or upgrade tactician, right? They are not fully guaranteed to upgrade what you want. So the reason why this will take a significantly longer amount of time and energy doing it without the glitch is because, again, with this example, I want max discount strategist. The only way I'm going to acquire that is if both my OCs and DCs have everything in strategist. Now, to be fair with my OC, he has most of it, right? My OC is probably 1 to 2 seasons away from capping out his strategist and being done. The issue, on the other hand, though, is my DC, Tom Allen. As you can see, he is missing quite a bit. So if you're super lucky and you're doing the same thing I'm doing with strategist, but again, you can just change the perk to elite recruiter, to motivator, to architect. You can just change the vernacular. It works the same way across the board. One perk just doesn't magically get a discount, the others don't. Everything works equally. I'm going to have to sit here and cross my fingers for at least 2 years, possibly 3, 4, 5 if you get super unlucky, that Tom Allen and Garrett Riley keep upgrading strategists. They get everything I want in strategists, and once when they have it maxed out, I then go in and buy it myself. So again, if we're being lucky, they have most of it already. I'd ballpark it. They have between like 60 and 70% already after 2 years. So more than likely, if I give them maybe 2 or 3 more years, they'll be done. And just like that, I will have strategists completely bought for 100% on discount, 8 points per instead of 12 points per. And Beastly, the next question I hear you typing is, okay, well, I got my first perk category done, right? Completely done. How do I get the second perk category? Well, it's the exact same way you think you do. And it's say, for example, I want to go and get Elite Recruiter. As you can see, it's going to cost me 15 tokens. Why is it going to cost me 15 tokens? Well, my DC has Elite Recruiter, but my OC does not, meaning I have to get an Elite Recruiting Coordinator on my roster, specifically at my OC spot, to get to buy it for free. But I don't just want any generic guy with Elite Recruiter because I need him to buy the perks in the category. And since Elite Recruiter is far bigger for both Base Recruiter and Elite Recruiter as a category than Strategist, this will take more years. But once when you have everything you've done down, because again, to quickly recap, you're going to go into a coach, any team you want, force winning your undefeated seasons, and if you don't, let's say for example, I chose Clemson because I want Elite Recruiter. Let's say you don't want Elite Recruiter, you don't care. You can go in and pick a garbage school like, sorry to throw shots here, but like FAU as an example. Go into FAU, force win all of your games, go to 2 natties, get that done. In the 2 years that you're preparing to build your coach up, start getting the coordinators you already need. So for example, if you want talent developers and you want that perk to be discounted first, and that's the first one you want to attack, which I highly recommend. It's a very annoying perk, so getting it out the way first is pretty smart. That 2-year window where you're just force winning all your games, fire your coordinators and get talent developers available. But Beastly, how do we magically force talent developers to be in the rotation? Well, here's how you do it. So first of all, this requires some pen and paper. There might be a website or a Reddit out there that does this more in depth, but I don't have access to it. I don't really care to go find it. But how I go about this, you go into coaching stats right here. Then you're going to filter from head coach to offensive coordinators. You are then going to filter from offensive coordinators to job security. So you want the worst people you possibly could have, and you want to find these teams. So for in our example, we are doing Elite Recruiter. For the other example I gave mid-video, do talent developer. Here we go. So, as you can see, Greg Harbaugh Jr., great name. Didn't know there was a Harbaugh Jr. coaching college football. That's kind of funny. Anyways, Greg over here has talent developer. If you hypothetically in your example want to stack talent developer, get that done first, yada, yada, yada. You make him go 0-12, Greg will get fired. And if you can see where I'm going with this, to maximize the chance of you finding a talent developer coordinator or an Elite Recruiter coordinator or a master motivator coordinator, like whatever architect, whatever you're searching for the discount, all you do is you keep filtering and you keep looking, and whatever you find that person for the desired perk you want, write their name down, write their team down, and just make them go 0-12. And if I'm being honest, if you want the maximum bang for your buck, I would highly advise you to get like 12 to 15 coaches fired. Because the more coaches you have in the coaching carousel that you can pick up, the higher chances you have of finding the one you want. So if you're, again, with my example for this video, I'm doing Elite Recruiter. But for the example, you could have, if you're doing talent developer, try to get as many talent devs fired as once. If you're doing, again, Master Motivator, try to get everyone done. If you can't see it on the screen, the archetype for the coach is located below their name and above their job security. Now for me, in this video, I have 5 elite recruiters that I already have set to go 0-12 in their seasons. Rick Bowie is one of them, and I have 5 DCs set to go. Now, if you want to make this super, like, guaranteed, you could do the same thing for head coaches. You can find head coaches who have no job security. And for example, if I'm looking for an elite recruiter, I don't know how far I would have to scroll down in this video to find one, but let's just pretend Eddie George over here is elite recruiter. Obviously he's not, but if he was, I would make him go 0-12. And that way you have head coaches, you have OCs and DCs. And by the end of the year, you only need 2 of them, right? You need 1 OC and 1 DC. So if you get 15, 20, 30 guys fired, the odds of you finding 2 of them go up. I would not advise doing this for like 1 or 2 coaches. And if those 1 or 2 coaches don't appear in the coaching carousel, you have to wait another year. The next question I got so much, and I'm not going to spend too much time explaining it in this video because I've already explained this in a previous video. Don't worry, I will give you, timestamps, don't you worry. But I got a bunch of questions of people asking me, hey, how did you control what team you go to? And again, I have this explained more in depth in a previous video. This is the video I'm in reference to. It is approximately around the 21-minute mark. Go find my video. It's the best sim playbook breakdown. I kind of cover this entire screen. There you go. But there, if you want a more in-depth breakdown, here you go. But here's the TLDR. Here's the quick summary. The quick summary is to increase the likelihood of you getting the job you want. So let's say you want the head coaching job for, I don't know, West Virginia. I first of all advise you to make them go 0-12, right? Guarantee way of getting a coach fired is have them lose every game. Just pretty simple. Number 1. Number 2, if you use that team's playbooks, it does increase the odds of them going after you because you fit their scheme. But of all of the changes, of all the things you can do, the most important one is your alma mater. If you want to become the head coach of Michigan and replace the woman respecter that is Sharon Moore, insert jokes I've been making on my stream the last 2 days, which, by the way, stream every day on YouTube or nearly every day, 6 o'clock CST. So if you have any questions, stop by there. Do a lot of dumb, random content, challenge runs, research experiments, yada, yada, yada. But the alma mater has the most impact on where you go. So if you know when you're doing this God mode, every perk, strat, whatever, and you want to go to Alabama or you want to go to, a good school, Ohio State, and replace Ryan Day or replace Sharon Moore in Michigan, wherever you want to go, make that your alma mater. But you have to do that when you make your coach. You can't go in here, as you can see, after the fact and change your alma mater. So if there's a specific location you specifically want to get to, make your alma mater that place, and it significantly increases the chance of you getting that job. So for example, if I was making my God head coach for the Saban build for the University of Florida, I'm a big Florida fan, I want to go to Florida. I would make my alma mater Florida and run the Florida offense and defensive playbooks, and the odds of Florida trying to get me is very, very, very high. So there's a quick 2-minute TLDR. If you want a lot more in-depth, go watch that other video. But yeah, that was one question I got a lot, and there you go. If for some reason, hypothetically, you don't get offered the job, by the way, the first year, just sim your second year and keep trying. I think to get Vanderbilt to take me, it took me 2 years. To get Hawaii to take me took 3 years. So on average, it shouldn't take you any more than 2 or 3 years to try to get a desired location, assuming you meet the criteria and you have everything going the way it's supposed to go. So obviously, to make this YouTube video better, to make the examples more, experienced, we're going to pretend like I simmed 2 or 3 years in the future. I let my OC and I let my DC marinate. I let them get all their perks. Obviously, I don't got time to do that for the video, but let's just pretend Garrett Riley and Tom Allen both bought the perks they were supposed to buy. RNG didn't screw me, and I have everything done. So my strategist is completely done. We're going to move on to the next perk. The next perk I've already referenced we are going to be doing is Elite Recruiter. Now, be sure to turn coach firing from off back on, because you don't want your coordinators to leave, and the highest chance they leave is for other jobs. So we will turn coach firing back on, which is good. And now we are going to sim to, I believe, week 15. Now, you guys aren't going to see this because it'll take me probably 8 to 12 minutes to just sim this. But I am going to sim to week 15 and show you and take it from there. Okay, so I was correct. We are going to sim to, I believe, week 15 or whatever the conference championship week is. And you can see right down here, manage staff. If you miss this deadline, you have to wait another year, another cycle. So please don't miss this cycle. We will fire our OC because, again, in this hypothetical for the video, we are going to pretend I waited several years for them to max out strategist, and then I myself max out strategist, and now I am moving on to my second perk, which for the video will be elite recruiter. And just my opinion here, if I were you, I would, before you do this, I would have save points throughout your journey, because if you try doing this in one giant run, you're gonna have issues, whether with bad luck or with human error, doing it the organic way. So I would just have save points. There you go. Okay, so if anything, this is like the most perfect example I could give for the video. So I went in and just triple checked. I had 5 OCs and 5 DCs go 1 in 11 or 2 in 10 or 0 in 12. I basically gave them just terrible seasons. Some of them, for some reason, didn't get fired. So that's just pretty bad luck. And I figured, you know what, rather than restarting the video, I could just do it with a different group because technically, even though I would like it to have been elite recruiters, I could always get them later on. So I had it to settle for master motivators. As you can see, Brad Glenn as my OC has a master motivator, and Devon Brown is my DC with master motivator. Now when I go into my coach, now yes, I don't have enough points spent, so we're going to go ahead and buy these things just to get the base 50 requirement meant. Bada bing, bada boom. I just did that. And now as you can see, bam, master motivator is free. I'm going to buy it for free. And just like that, I got strategist for free. I got master motivator for free. And again, in this hypothetical, I simmed 3 to 5 years, got all the perks there. And now I can, wrong category. Now I can begin the process of getting these perks. As you can see, some are already on discount, right? This one is already discount to 8 points. This one is already on discount to 8 points. You guys can see this. This one's really discounted. There's those 2 on 8 points. And it's not flashy, it's not quick, it's not effective. If you're doing this, I wouldn't expect to do this over the course of 3 to 4 hours. Again, with doing the pre-order glitch and giving my DC and head coach every perk in the game, that took me 4 hours. This, again, ballparking it, could take you between 15 to 20 hours, real life hours. And again, if you get like super god tier RNG and you find the coordinators that you need every single off season and there's like no downtime, you're probably looking at somewhere between 8 to 15 seasons before you actually get the build, but you can still do it. It is still completely possible. You just have to have the right things go your way. And so hypothetically, in this example for the video, let's say I wanted to have all of Motivator and all of Master Motivator at the cheapest possible price. You guessed it. I would just simulate 2 to 3 years with this crew. And then when they have every perk in the game, I will buy it for myself. And then when I don't need them, I just fire them and rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Now, for you guys, fire as many OCs and or DCs as you humanly can. Again, it increases the chances of you finding what you need. There's going to be probably some poor bastard in the comments of this video saying, dude, I'm trying to get talent developer, and you had 18 talent developer coordinators, and I know it was the luck of the draw. Of course, the video where I don't need talent devs, I'm getting them out my ass, but that's just how it works. There was someone also, or say someone, there were several people in my previous video that also had issues with when they would retire, the league would end. If you're retiring and the league is ending, that's because you don't have an anchor coach or a mule coach or an actual original coach. Now, all I'm going to do here is make one very quickly. That way you guys can see it live. It takes 2 seconds. So we're going to make him owner. So the Gator coach is now the owner of this dynasty. I'm going to go in. I am going to retire and just pretend this is Dabo Sweeney and not a fake coach. I'm going to go and retire. And rather than booting me out of the league, bam, there you go. I am still in the league. I will go in, back, and then go make Dabo Sweeney. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom, become the head coach. And because I fired him and used the custom coach, it's not Dabo, but for you, it'd be Dabo. There you go, and then go crazy. So if you're having that problem, you didn't give yourself an anchor coach, you skipped that part of the video, and that should cover everything. That's how to do it organically. That is how to do it with the pre-order bonus glitch. And again, if you're doing it the organic route, you do the same thing for an online dynasty, unless you get there first. I believe you're the first person in online dynasty. You can give your coach every perk in the game and then invite people. And when you do that, you'll be at such an advantage. But again, I don't see many people doing that, but it is still in the game. And real quickly, before we wrap this video up, I got one special shout out for a special person. I wanna give props. So extra big shout out to @JBig with 2 G's. Must be very big. Must be compensating for something, but who knows? Bruh, this is cap. This doesn't work. It's been patched. It only works if you pre-order. So I understand grammar is a very hard thing to come by in modern society. I am not the best with punctuation myself, my brother in Christ. However, that's an oxymoron. You can't say something doesn't work and then the next half of your sentence say, well, it only works if you do X, Y, and Z. If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. If something does work, it does work. You can't say something doesn't work simultaneously, then say something does. So, funny part right there. And if it works without pre-order, show us. One of the many TikTok just brain rot, disgusting people with the attention span of a goldfish, as I leave in my comment, because you just rewatched the video. This was the example I was mostly talking to earlier. And not just him, there's other tards in my comments as well. He's not alone. Of just people who either skip through the video, don't watch the video in its entirety, and then have issues. It's like, well, you did that to yourself. If you watch the video in its entirety, it'd be really simple to follow the instructions. So there you go. But don't worry, Mr. JBig, the absolute big brain, keeps it going, because why double down when you can triple down and just show the world how intelligent you are? And he tells me, if it did work, you would have showed it to us without the pre-order bonus. That's my whole point, Goofy. Ironically, the guy who doesn't know what an oxymoron is calling me Goofy. Go figure. No, dumbass. I didn't include it in the video because the video was already pretty long enough. I pretty much covered everything I had to. And with common sense, you could do it yourself. I actually, assuming he knows what common sense is might be a stretch. Out here having the actual IQ of fucking Dory over here. And then lastly, he signs off with his final dumbass comment of the day. It didn't work without the glitch. Don't work without the pre-order bonus. No, you can, as I've shown here. Will you do it anywhere as fast as the pre-order bonus glitch? God, no. Having to go and get your coordinators and stack everything and have them buy the right perks and do everything properly, that'll take you so much more time. But everything I described in my first video and everything I showed you now, this isn't new for CFB 26. Bundle discount and inside track were both in CFB 25. People have been doing this for 2 years. I would presume, unless EA changes the game, they'll do it next year. So the only unintelligent one here is you. Unfortunately, we have a lot of human intelligence on this earth, and Mr. JBig with 2 G's is not one of them. But appreciate you guys. Shout out you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Deuces.